Hey, okay, so this particular silent film I have mixed feelings about. So, it was released in 1922. It's 20 minutes long, and it's titled The Ropin' Fool. It stars Will Rogers. Now, there's a Will Rogers Jr. He was a politician and World War II veteran and everything. That is Will Rogers' son. Will Rogers Sr. was in movies and, talkies and everything else. And he passed away in 1935. He sadly was killed in an airplane crash. But he was in vaudeville. He actually did run in politics. I don't know if he actually how far he got. Sometimes they run in politics and then just kind of, because they didn't win or anything, they just stop. But he was also a radio personality, and he was known as a cowboy in vaudeville. He would do this lasso trick and everything with the roping and all of that. And that's where we get into this movie. Now, the movie has, it shows the early stages of slow motion in film. And because it has to show his roping technique. So basically, it's showing his vaudeville act in this film. And which is really impressive, really. I enjoyed watching it. And what they had to do, what I was reading, is they had to paint his rope white so that you could see it. And it just took me back to my photography classes, some of the things that we had to do, especially when I had to do this class where we had to, or one of the assignments that we had was photographing something black on a black background. Oh, that was the worst. That was such a beast to have to do. And the tricks and techniques that you had to do, oh, it was horrific. But while watching, you see that it was still in its infancy, the whole slow motion, because when they pull out of the slow motion, the film itself goes into like double time. So it's going really fast and everything. So I found that a little humorous because we're so used to it being back to normal. Well, it wasn't normal. So yeah, seeing it in its infancy like that is I enjoy watching stuff like that. I enjoyed watching his what would be considered, his skills and his act. However, the film, even with just 20 minutes of it, depends on it. And there's kind of a story in there, but I don't know what it is. Because it started out, you get the idea that he's supposed to be this ranch hand, and he got fired because he was so busy doing this roping that he wasn't actually supposed to be doing. He's so busy doing his fun hobby that he's not listening to doing his responsibility. And but then it just went in a weird direction, and it just got muddled, and I don't even know. I mean, the silent film's something new that I critiqued a while back that I had nothing really nice to say about it. At least it had a story and you could follow it. This didn't have a story. There was nothing. I mean, it was like it started out, you got the story, but then it just kind of went, what's going on? I wish what they had done is it would have been like a demonstration of his vaudeville act. Take it out of the theater and just let him do his thing and do the slow motion and all of that. that would have been perfectly fine. Take out the bad story, whatever you were trying to do, and just let him do his thing. That because he was popular in his day, people would have come to see that. And so I don't know. I don't know why they went in this direction, but they did. And especially with the slow motion, people would fill the seats to see that new concept, or the, and people haven't changed. If it's new, they want to see it. So yeah, so the positive is the slow motion and seeing his vaudeville techniques and skills and everything as the cowboy, and the roping and all of that. But that story just doesn't need to be there. That's the negative of it. Because Will Rogers is definitely a very talented man, and he knows what he's doing. It's great to watch, but they could have shaved off some time. Because, like I said, at 20 minutes, and they were trying to make a story out of something that the story didn't need to be there. And so anyway, I'm gonna put in the description Will Rogers, so you can read up on him, because he's a very interesting gentleman, and he did quite a few talkies, and he did quite a few silent films, so he has quite a filmography and everything, and then of course his vaudeville act and everything, and so like a very talented gentleman, and I hope you do read up on him. It's just this particular film, it is mixed for me, because I loved seeing the infancy of slow motion in film, especially when they're pulling out and you see it go double time like that, and so they were still trying to control that, obviously, and I love seeing little things like that, and but at the same time they were dependent on Will Rogers' talents with this vaudeville act of his, and much like with Jekyll and Hyde, they were dependent on, I mean, a lot of the critics said that basically the reason that the film made it is because of John Barrymore. The story itself was just blah, and so um yeah, because if they had taken out the whatever story that was that they were trying to portray, because I got lost. I don't know what the story was. It started out, he got fired for not being responsible as a ranch hand, and then it just, I think he liked a girl, but I don't know. I don't know what was going on. So maybe you can figure out what I couldn't. And so, but yeah, there are mixed feelings with this one, because for the reasons that I said, and but I um I enjoy seeing. I think that it should have been a demonstration more than it should have been like a more silent film story type, and because I've seen quite a few of those where they have like demonstration type films, and so I don't know why they, again, I don't know why they went in this direction, because Will Rogers was obviously very well known in his day, so it's just confusing. Big question why. So anyway, I will have that information for you in the description. This was released in 1922. It's 20 minutes long. I will also put it in the description for you, so you don't have to go looking around for it. And the title of it is The Ropin' Fool.